Alright, so this is kind of I'd say a part two off of the trading envelopes video. So what I have, what I had mentioned on that video was how to create a strategy here that really maximizes the use of these envelopes. So I've already kind of pre-filled this out already. So what you're gonna have to do is well, first thing is once you have your setup, and once you have your debits and credits and all of this, we need to calculate total profit. So how do we do that? Let me see. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so what we want to do is just take a simple sum of column M. So we see here that there's $144 if we sum all debits and credits, not counting commissions, and that's where we're gonna put this gains or loss. But first, we need to calculate all these things in order for us to calculate commissions. The next thing we're gonna have to calculate is total losses, and how we do that is put equals. So sum if, we're gonna use the sum if column M, and then comma, quotations, less than 0. Close the parentheses. So as you can see that we have a total of over 10 grand of losses basically, and leave the average loss here kind of blank for right now. Similar to the total losses, we're going to use the sum if formula to calculate, but instead of less than, we're going to use greater than 0. So just to double check, the total profit comes from the sum of all the debits and credits. So if we were to add these two together, so the total losses plus our total gains, we should be able to get our $144, which is our total profit, just to check. And then we do. So the next thing we need to calculate is our maximum loss. What is our, so if we were to imply this strategy to our trading, what is our maximum, I don't want to say drawdown, but according to this data, what is our maximum drawdown? So just take the min of column M. So the most we were to lose on a single trade was $415. Alright, so now for the maximum gain, just take the max function. So what is the maximum profit? And it's 516. So that's not too bad. So a number of gains, I'm going to use the count function, but it's a count if function. So basically count if it's greater than 0. All the values that are greater than 0. So there's 222 gains, and similar to that, we're going to calculate the number of losses. So again, we use the count if, column M, is less than 0. So there's 222 gains and 216 losses. So I wouldn't, to me this is a bad strategy, but once again we're going to use GoalSeek to help us out. So try not to mind too much on this. The next thing we need to calculate is or let's calculate the number of signals. So which is just basically the sum of the number of losses and the number of gains. So this according to the strategy, it yields 438 signals basically. Gain to loss ratio, we're gonna have to calculate that in order for us to calculate to use GoalSeek rather. So gain to loss ratio is basically your gains divided by your losses. And what this means is just round to 2 decimal places. There's 1.03 gains for every loss. So again, I wouldn't really recommend this, but once again, we're going to use GoalSeek to help us increase this ratio. Loss to gain. Take your losses divided by the gains, and you can see that there's almost 1 loss for every gain, basically. Okay, so now we calculate our average loss. So to do that, we take the total losses divided by the number of losses, and our average loss is 47 bucks. So again, not too bad. And our average gain, you take your total gains divided by the total number of gains, just 47 bucks. So they're about the same, around the same thing. Okay, so now you want to calculate commissions. How I do this is just put an equal sign. You take your number of signals times 2, just because you have to, because it involves opening a position and closing, so a round trip basically. Times 2, and then times your commission. So in this case, I'm just gonna use 7 bucks. So our total commission. So we're gonna spend 6,132 bucks, which is terrible because our profit is already 144. So take your total profit minus your commissions, and we have a total loss of 5,988. So again, this is terrible, right? So how we want to fix this is we want to manipulate the envelope, the percentage. That's something we can control. So what you want to do is basically, first of all, change all the values to have to use this number here rather than the 110 for every single one. So the way we do that is just erase 1.1 here on the formula tab, and then just click this, and we want to switch the reference. You double click that. So nothing changes here just because it's 110, but if I were to change this to say 105, then this number changes, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. So just switch it back to 110 for now. So we're going to use GoalSeek. So what I want to, where's my formula tab? 0. So what if I'm getting an error message? There we go. Gotta find the GoalSeek. So basically, just cancel that for now. So what I want to manipulate is, I want to say, if I change this value, the upper envelope, I want to increase my gain to loss ratio, basically. So again, we use GoalSeek. So we want to say set cell this gain to loss ratio to at least 2.0. So I would have 2 gains for every loss, basically. So by changing the cell, this one, the upper envelope percentage, and it's gonna try to calculate if we just click OK. So it seems to have found one. So just click OK, and if we zoom in here a little bit, according to GoalSeek, if you change your upper envelope to 1.36, you get 2 gains for every loss, basically. But one thing I've noticed is the more data you use, the less signals you will get. Depending on your risk tolerance or your strategy, this might be good or bad for you. But again, if you increase your gain to loss, it'll decrease the number of signals. So again, we see here that there's 4 gains and 2 losses, and each average gain is 95, and our average loss is 55.50. So again, not too bad, depending on your risk tolerance. But we do have to remember that this is based off of 100 shared lots. So if we were to change that, so again, 100 shares, the way you want to do that is, if you want to change it to 200, 300, let's just say 500 for now. We go to this to K21 and just double click on the 100 and switch to this one. But again, we have to switch the reference so that it always uses this allotment here. So click enter, fill the rest. Again, do the same thing for L21. So grab that, switch the reference, hit enter. So so now you have control of another input, which is a share allotment. So if we were to use 500 shares, 500 share lots, we would have same gain to loss ratio of 2. Our average gain now becomes $475. Our average loss is $277.50. Our total gain after commissions is $12.61. So again, not too bad. Maximum loss is 525. Maximum gain is 635, and our commissions are 84 bucks. So again, GoalSeek is very useful. Definitely recommend it. And we have not done the lower envelope, but you could get reference to how to do that on my previous video. So again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know, and I hope this helped out. All right, thank you.